Hello, Senior Stoner fan. This is the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Crimson Carter dab of the day. Today is Wednesday. Hello, everybody. I want to thank you all for being there for me. I'm there for you too. I had one mother effer of a day yesterday. It's been a very difficult period for Senior Stoner. But there's a very important thing that comes out of these very horrible periods. Here's what happens. I mean, you get to your worst. You're feeling your worst, you're thinking your worst, it's the end. All the horrible things you can possibly imagine are in, and it, like a pimple popping. Then you realize the pimple popped, and you're still here. This is Senior Stoner's own conclusion. You realize you're still here. So all the gyrating, all the mishigas, all the stuff you go through during these intense periods, for naught. I could have gone to the doctors, not reacted, and moved through my day. The pain wouldn't have changed, wouldn't have gotten as bad as it did. It got as bad as it did because of this part of my body. So, what's the important lesson? I always like to try to make these discussions about lessons. Lessons learned. And I have to say, there was something my father said to me a long time ago when I was a little boy. He said, only fools learn from their own mistakes. Learn from what I'm telling you. It's very hard to buy into it when you're living it, but after you've done it, you realize it's true. So the better practice for this situation when you have a doctor that tells you something you don't want to hear would be to go out of the doctor's office, do square breathing, and try to relax in your car. First thing out of the box. Don't collect $200. Don't pass go. Go and relax right there in your car. Even if you have to put your hat down over your eyes, just do it. Then go further, relax further. Try to engage, try to call someone on the phone, try to put your mind somewhere else. Pick up your phone and read the news. My point is that the key element of all of this is move on to another topic. My shrink calls it distraction. It's more important than that. It's focusing on something else. Just looking at something's not going to do it. Focusing, focusing is going to do it. If you like the color, you can't just sit there going like this. You got to color. If you're a model builder, I was a plastic model builder all my life. My son has models you wouldn't believe. I don't have the patience, but if I wanted it and I really stuck with it, it's focus, it's detail, it's up close, it's small movements, very precise. Those types of things, if you can find things to entrench your mind in, may give you a lift, a little lift off the horror. Now I'm encountering things I never even heard of as I go to these different physicians. Today I heard about the pelvic floor exercises you can get in special physical therapy situations. Pelvic floor exercises. Never heard of it, but it's tied into urinary tract and lower back pain. And I'm there. Why am I there? Because I had enough presence of mind to listen to this doctor, engage and discuss, go to my car, relax a little bit, think about it, validate that it's a good decision, and now I'm going to move into the process to get appointments. But what we don't want to do is what I did yesterday. We don't want to react and just explode from what you hear, especially if what you hear is not fatal, is not you're doomed. What I heard is that my tight, organized box I live in might be upset. That tight, organized box is the medicine and the medication and all different things I do to try to placate my pain. And when I heard it might go away, or he was thinking of going, not going to happen. My doctor's not going to do that. My doctor's not that guy. So you have to ratchet down the catastrophizing to a little bit more close with reality. Look, in this situation we're in, we might not read reality right. Let's face it, all bets are off when it comes to what you think, because it's all screwed up from the pain and different things in our body. So what has to happen is you have to adjust accordingly. You know, when you're sighting a rifle from far away, there's a wind, there's a Kentucky wind is what it's called, I believe, Kentucky drop. And it's the fact that if the wind is blowing at a certain amount of degrees and a certain angle, here's your target, here's where you got to aim, you shoot there, the bullet drops right there. Anybody who's a marksman knows exactly what I'm talking about, or a hunter, or a sniper for that matter. So what you have to do is you have to have really good situational awareness. We don't have that right now. Those of us who are isolated somewhat like me, those of us who have limited contact outside of our own selves, we might not have the same barometer engaged we had years ago when we were working or we were really active. So we might have to look at things a little differently. So the catastrophizing might not be even necessary. You know, there are people out there who you talk to just like this, and they hear you shouting just like this because they were beaten up as children, they were abused, horrible things happened to them. So maybe any adult talking to them as a young person makes them upset. Maybe a woman or a man was abused by the opposite sex, and any of that opposite sex interacting with them causes them to get upset. I have that with pain. I have a learned response of horror and explosion if somebody tells me, or I think they're telling me, I'm facing more pain. And that is how I interpreted yesterday. So what has to happen is you have to really, really, really hear and understand what's being said to you. And if it's not as bad as you think it is, you've got to find a way to get reality from that. That's where the car downtime comes. That's where the square breathing comes. That's where just venting to somebody else comes. And I'm going to be setting up a dedicated Senior Stoner phone line. That is correct. There's going to be a dedicated Senior Stoner phone line that I will own, that will be available for calling and talking. I think it's that important. Conference calling is going to be separate. I'm talking about Senior Stoner, call me back. Senior Stoner, are you up? Can you talk? I'm not kidding. That's what's coming down the pike right now. So I've got my mind out there. I'm thinking about positive things. I hope it's going to reduce my pain. That is what I recommend for all of us to try to do. As many things as we can do to keep our brains out of the drain, the pain drain. All right, let's have our dab today. Today we are going to use, well, I might as well bust into this 5-gram bottle. Oh my goodness, do they smell good. This is my new bottle of my THCA diamonds. And let's take a piece and drop it on in. Oh my, that's a big piece. I put a big piece in. Might have put a quarter of a gram in. Yikes. Can I tell you something, everybody? I deserve it. Here we go. Cheers. I'm going to do a single light, double light. Here we go. Welcome to the day. Well, hopefully, welcome to the new approach, or a continuation of what we've been talking about already. Let's try to get out of the rut. Let's try to think thoughts that will move us in a better direction. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Stay tuned for that dedicated Senior Stoner telephone. Cheers, everybody.